It is a very wonderful day right here, and this is Talk Sport on Global Television. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and of course, this is a very beautiful day. When we talk about sport, you know how it feels. As a matter of fact, what do I say? Because a lot of people actually give up hope on Osimhen, but then the table had to turn around at the, should I say, 11th minute? That's it. He had to dump his agent to go about the negotiation himself. Then you get to talk about things happening from the EPL. But then, what about the Super Eagles resuming camp? There is a doubt whether or not Osimhen is going to be on camp with the Super Eagles for the training as they go to face Benin Republic for the upcoming game. All right, well, let me bring you to speed with things happening from the world of sports this morning. Joining me in sports today is a very, very wonderful sport veteran. His name is Phillips Uja. Good morning, Phillips.
Good morning, Ramsey. It's nice to be here.
It's good to have you right here today. I know you were surprised to hear that Osimhen is now trying to find his mojo.
Well, actually, I wasn't surprised, but like I told you when we spoke during the week, I said I see him moving to another club, because if you look at the circumstances surrounding the transfer, it was just the English league that ended their transfer. That is on the 30th. Other leagues, their transfer were still on, and there were options of going on loan. So it's a good one for him. All right. He won't be idle till January.
I think I like that. He won't be idle till January. As a matter of fact, the Super Eagles talisman, talking about Victor Osimhen, started and concluded his season-long loan move from Napoli to Galatasaray without his Italian FIFA football agent. A lot of people speculated that, hey, come on, this agent is taking a whole lot of time, and of course that Victor Osimhen was going to sideline him, and that was exactly what he did. I'm talking about Roberto Calenda right here. According to the information that we got, Osimhen stopped trusting people around him after the Gulf transfer deadline day, because Osimhen look at it as if everything was crumbling for him, but then it's good to keep hope alive, and that's why the negotiation with Galatasaray was conducted by Osimhen himself, sidelining his agent, and as now he has given up the idea of returning to Nigeria, as he told trust with many people there too. Well, Osimhen, you remember after the fracas he had, of course, with the former, I call him former right now, because after a very short time, Finidi George said, I'm not doing again, even though he had a little fracas with Victor Osimhen. And because of the so many things that people said, Osimhen came out to say, well, I don't even trust people back home too. But then, as intermediary, Judge Gadi was the one who helped him get the move to the Turkish giant, talking about Galatasaray. But a lot of work was done by the player himself, and that's a good one. Gadi is close to Turkish clubs and has played a role in bringing Dries Mertens to Turkey, Osimhen too, and it has been reported, as a matter of fact, that he had no option but to accept the destination, even though you know where Osimhen was always eyeing. He wanted to go to Europe, as a matter of fact, but then at all, then saying I'm bad pass. But as it is right now, the specific terms as it is were discussed and confirmed much later. And I just want you to know that things do not really seem promising between Osimhen and his agent Robert calendar. But then it was suggested after deadline day that he could consider parting ways with his agent, and that's exactly what he has done, because moving to do the negotiations himself and going to Galatasaray, which I feel is better for him. I think it's a good move, and that was done by Osimhen himself. Well, I just reeled out what it is. Now, Phillips, let me come back to you. What do you think the move made by Victor Osimhen? Because some persons were like, hey, come on. A lot of options came, but so many things happened. A lot of water went under the bridge. As it is right now, Galatasaray. Were you ever thinking Osimhen was going to go to Galatasaray, and you think that's the best he would have done?
Well, it might not be the best option for him, but they say when the preferable is not available, the available becomes the preferable. So I think for Victor Osimhen, Galatasaray, if you look at their pedigree, they have been a team, one of the teams to reckon with when it comes to the Turkish football. Galatasaray, you talk about Fenerbahce, and then you talk about Besiktas. But I think they also won the league last season. So, and they have a good squad. I think they have the likes of Batshuayi is there, Ziyech is there. You talk about Dries Mertens, who is a former colleague of Osimhen when they were back in Napoli, and the rest of that. But I think just like he has done, we all saw that coming, because I think this is the fourth agent Victor Osimhen will be working with since he arrived in Europe. And also, we have to talk about his attitudinal issue, but I also think that the agent did not do well in this whole transfer imbroglio, because if you look at what really happened, as managing a top player like the African Footballer of the Year, for me, I felt he should have done some of the nitty-gritties before the deadline day of transfer. Why wait till the dying minute before you start pushing for deals, and then a team like Chelsea come and then they are pricing Osimhen as if they are pricing an average player? I mean, to me, it was an insult to Osimhen, the kind of deal that Chelsea brought for him. So I can't know what people are saying. Osimhen is greedy, Osimhen and all sorts. This is the African Footballer of the Year. Will they do that for the European Best Footballer of the Year? Or is it because he's an African player and then you are coming with the kind of contract you are bringing, giving him earn as you play? If Chelsea go to the Champions League, you earn this. I mean, it is so poor. And I like what Osimhen did, and he rejected the agent. But I think the agent also have to pay for it, because he was not well grounded in what he did. Because we are talking about the best. Imagine Osimhen not playing till January. What would have come of him?
Imagine Osimhen not playing until January. As a matter of fact, it's not only Victor Osimhen that have had this kind of saga. You know, a lot of inconsistencies when it comes to transfer, as it has to do with Nigerian players. We have some other Nigerian players who have not had it so juicy
even
in the past.
Lookman, as now, we don't even know where Ademola Lookman is headed. But as in the way I was so happy when I heard he was one of the early birds in camp, because if you have some of these clubs, they are taking a ride on our players. I mean, for Lookman, we're talking about a player that scored a hat-trick in an European club final. And if he said he wants to leave, I think it's crystal clear. You allow this boy, young lad, to leave. And they're not keeping him around and then bullying him, placing a kind of exorbitant price on him. Even the price, you know, that even your own best player, they won't pay such for you. Place such player just to send some clubs away. And then at the end of the day, the player will be left with nothing but to just accept anything that you give to him. I think it's high time some of these things are being looked into. And then when these players want to leave and this club come calling, please allow them to leave. It's their choice.
But then, I'm talking about Victor Osimhen right now. A lot of people are speculating that the clubs he actually wanted to go, all right, clubs...
Is it Al Hilal?
Yeah.
Al Ahly?
Yeah, Al Ahly. Talking about the Saudi club. A lot of people said he would have actually gone for that. But what do you think about him rejecting that offer? Well, because a lot of people said, well, the game is about money.
Has no pension.
Every career, okay, it's about... but then no pension. And he rejected that.
Actually, there are better times to move to Saudi Arabia. Now, Ramsey, let me tell you, Henderson went to Saudi Arabia. Henderson is back to Europe. Maxi Milan, the guy in Newcastle, he went to Saudi Arabia. Where is he? He's back to Europe. I mean, there are players, okay, since Mane went to Saudi Arabia, how did he fare in the Nations Cup? When last did you hear his name? Since Koulibaly went there, when last did you hear about Koulibaly? The same teammate from Napoli. I mean, there are years when you are at the peak of your career, you don't just gamble with it. Because if Osimhen moves to Saudi Arabia just at the age of 25, and then maybe, let's say in the next 3-4 years, because Alan, they were giving him a 4-year deal. Is he at the age of 29, he wants to come back to Europe? I mean, this money is always there. in the last 3 years, the money Saudi Arabia are using to sign players, you can't compare it. Now, there was a time, there was a mass exodus from the English league going to China. When the Chinese league came, the like of Chinese Shenhua, likes of Benji Gohan, and the rest of them. Some of the European players, when they even, what is it called, this number 8 for Chelsea, he went there. But they all came back to Europe. Why? Because they felt this, you can't just go to some of this obscure league in this, what is it called, in the Asian continent, and you expect to make headways in the league. No, because when you talk about press, talk about the coverage, the media, the European teams have it.
But Ronaldo is there and he's making a whole lot of
waves. Ronaldo has won everything in the world of football except for World Cup. So if you check his trophy cabinet, he has won the World Footballer of the Year for more than 4 times. He has won the Champions League back-to-back for 3 times. What else do you expect for Ronaldo? Someone like Ronaldo can go there. Someone like Messi can go there, but not someone like Osimhen. Osimhen is just 25. How old did Ronaldo go there? Ronaldo was above 35 when he went to the Saudi League.
Trossachon just went there too.
So why not wait? The money will always be there. The Saudi Arabian guys, they know what they are doing. They are trying to bring up their league to a certain, to bring them to a limelight. So if Osimhen can be patient enough, definitely he's going to get the limelight. When the time comes, when he's 28, 29, the money will still be there. The money doesn't finish. They will still come for it. You understand? So
yes, that is it. The money doesn't finish. The money is always there in as much as you are up and doing in your career, because the Randa letter game is bringing a whole lot to the table right now. But then if you want to talk about transfer saga in Nigeria, it's not just this one about Osimhen. We're only talking about that of Osimhen because it is recent. If you could remember for Mikel Obi, it was another time in the summer of 2006, the former Super Eagles captain, talking about Mikel Obi now, turned heads home and abroad after shockingly joining Chelsea after he had signed for Manchester United in 2005 before he turned 18. And of course, as it were, he was even seen wearing the club shirt in a press conference. As a matter of fact, sitting beside Sir Alex Ferguson. Meanwhile, Chelsea sent him to Norwegian club Linz as they eye a future deal, and were quick to act when the Premier League rivals announced the move. As a matter of fact, on June 2nd, 2006, Mikel registration was to be transferred from Linz, of course, to Chelsea, and Manchester United agreed to terminate their option agreement with him as a result of the settlement which was withdrawn, and Chelsea were granted a work permit for Mikel after they completed the £16 million signing in 2006. And of course, that is not all. We also have other people who have had this issue. You can talk about Osaze Odewinge too.
Yeah.
Osaze Odewinge, you remember, the former Super Eagles winger also changed the landscape of the transfer window in 2013, to be specific. Of course, with the infamous and failed attempt to move to Queen's Park Rangers from West Brom Albion. That's not all. We have a couple of them. I said the saga is not just that of Osimhen alone, but the question a lot of Nigerians are asking, and of course our football loving fans, is why is this always happening? Remember that of Emmanuel Amuneke too, after the 1994 World Cup. Amuneke, who was still under contract with Zamalek. Cairo at the time signed a contract with MSV Duisburg and was introduced to the public. You know, all these things are happening, and a lot of controversies surrounding it. What is the problem? Is it agent for Victor Osimhen? A lot of the blame, people are shifting it to the agent, including Osimhen himself. But then, why is this thing common with the Nigerian players?
Well, I think if you look at what is happening, it is a two-way thing, because for what the recent one, which is that of Victor Osimhen, Osimhen shares part of the blame. Even the agent also shares part of the blame, because there's nothing he does without consulting with his agent, or there's nothing the agent does without consulting with Victor Osimhen. So I think both of them share the blame. But if I'm going to give them the portion of the blame, I'll give the agent 60% while I give Osimhen 40%. Why? Because the agent knows that what is there to do is to protect the interest of his client. So he knows the kind of contract that matches the status of his client. So you don't just wait, just like I said earlier, The agent shouldn't have just waited till the dying minute before he start trying to put in one or two things to get the things done. Now, you talked about Osazo Dewinge, you even talked about Mikel. Mikel, I know he's a outspoken person now, but if you go back to when that of Mikel happened, I think his own issue was, should I say, it was like kind of a pre-contract agreement. You understand? Even if you remember, it's not just in Nigeria. I think it happened with Robinho. Robinho, at a time, we were told he was going to Real Madrid, and before we know it was hijacked and he came to Man City. I think even that Man City deal, Chelsea was also interested in that, but he was hijacked. The same thing happened to Mikhailo Modric. Arsenal has gone there, they've done all the negotiation, but where did it ended? He ended up coming to Chelsea. We can go on and on. Even what's he called? The other guy from France. Same thing happened to him. So these are things that happen in the world of football. But most times, it's the agent of these players. You know, just like you said, football, the business aspect of football is a very critical point, and that is the money aspect. So probably what they offered, like I'm talking about the case of Victor Osimhen now, what he was looking at was the fact that he wanted to go to Chelsea. Osimhen has never hidden his love for Chelsea. Even I think there was one of the interview he had recently when he was talking about his friends telling him that since he's going to, when Chelsea played Lille FC, when he was still in France, that even if he's going to score and Chelsea is going to win, they don't mind, but let him just score. And even himself, he said he's going to prove to them, because right from childhood, he has been a Chelsea fan. You can sort see the Drogba effect, the Mikel Obi effect, and the rest of them. So if you're looking at what the agents do when it comes to this players deal, the agent plays a very crucial role. So I think it's high time some of these our players, they look at the kind of agent they go for. This agent that can be able to broker this deal, stand firm, and know what their players want. If you know your players what, you can't settle for less. That is just the truth. Except if the player himself decide, okay, I want to take a pay cut. Just like the case of Mbappe going to Real Madrid, he took a pay cut. That is not what he's done in PSG. Same thing goes to, what is it called, Odion Ighalo. When Odion Ighalo wants to come from China to Man U, they told him you're going to take a massive pay cut, even if it's for free, so long he's going to put on the Manchester United jersey. And he came and he fulfilled his dream, even though it was short-lived. But at least history will have it that Odion Ighalo played for Manchester United.
All right, talking about Kylian Mbappe right now. Kylian Mbappe, as a matter of fact, he's playing for his dream club right now. According to him, his childhood dream club, just like you talked about Osimhen wanting to play for Chelsea. Kylian Mbappe had some drought, you know, as it has to do with goals, but I think he just got a goal in their recent game. Is it too early to judge him? Because a lot of people are saying, hey, or the rival, we thought it was going to be pam, 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 pam.
Is it rocket science?
To whom much is given, much is expected.
Well, I understand, but I think to whom much is given, he has delivered one. They won the
penalty.
Super Cup. No, apart from the goals, he scored twice last weekend. But before that, the UEFA Super Cup against Atlanta, he's shown like a million star of whom he is, and he scored. They won that trophy. Now this is La Liga. You know, La Liga, most times the way the La Liga goes is not just the way you expected it. Who would have ever thought that Girona would have took the La Liga by storm last season?
That's true.
And if not for the superior experience of Madrid and Barca, Girona should have been top there. So looking at the La Liga, you don't expect that Mbappe should just come and then you start grabbing all the hat-trick. No, it will take him some time. No, yes, we rate him in the likes of top striker like Haaland, but we know naturally that Mbappe is not a top 9. Just that we all know that he's good in scoring goals. But you want to talk about the world top 9, Mbappe is not there. He likes playing from the wing and coming in to do his thing and the rest of them. So I think it's going to take him a little bit of time, because if you watch their match last weekend, he was having a little kind of miscommunication with Vinicius. It was even shown that Vinicius was furious with some of the ball he felt Mbappe should have given to him and a lot of that. So I think more of that is still going to come, because this is La Liga. But I feel in the next couple of months, Mbappe is going to settle down well in La Liga.
All right, so the next couple of months, Mbappe is going to settle very well. To him, he has not settled very well yet. Yeah. But then he's making his mark already. But in the next few weeks, he's going to get settled and things will start working out smoothly. Let's get to Europe right now and talk about the Manchester United thing. You know what is happening right now? A lot of Manchester United fans said, hey, come on, Ten Hag should go. We don't want him anymore. But then I think the Manchester United CEO has said Ten Hag has the club's full backing. No matter what anyone says, he's going to stay. Why is he saying this? As a matter of fact, the Manchester United chief executive, I'm talking I'm talking about Omar Berrada says manager Erik ten Hag has the full backing of the club and is optimistic that the pieces are being put in place for the long-term success of the team domestically and in Europe. Well, we will talk about Erik ten Hag, but that's going to be after this break. And remember that after the break, we will also talk about the Super Eagles' arrival in camp. Is Osimhen going to join them, as the case may be, because a lot of people are expecting him in camp? But the camp, as a matter of fact, is bubbling right now. Let's go on a quick break. We will return after this break. Welcome back from that break. It's still Talk Sports Live on your screen on global television. And of course, we're talking about things happening from the world of sport. You know, sport ignites, sport unites, sports day and night. No one ever gets tired of sport. All right, let's talk about Manchester United before we went on break. But then someone is going to be joining us via Zoom all the way from Lagos State. Wilson will be joining us, okay? And Wilson, as a matter of fact, is a sport analyst, and he's going to be adding his voice to the conversation. The conversation is already going smoothly, very sweet. I know you're catching the form there, so Wilson is going to join us. All right, let me ask you this question. Manchester United finished, as a matter of fact, 8th in the Premier League, and that was last season. Okay. Then on Sunday, you remember what happened in their game, 3-0. And a lot of people have been clamoring that, hey, come on, Ten Hag just got to go. But so unfortunate for those people, the CEO said, we are still keeping Ten Hag. We know what we are looking for. But then, as a matter of fact, the defeat by Liverpool made it 2 losses from 3 games in the current campaign, leaving them in 14th position so far as we speak. And Harry has our full backing, is what the CEO is saying. And he said they think he is the right coach for Manchester United. I don't know. What do you think? Are you of different opinion? Because he's the CEO and they know what they want.
Well, if you ask an average Manchester United fan right now, he will be very sad to hear that this word is coming from their CEO, because for crying out loud, this was the same way Manchester United played last season. This season, no difference. The same thing that is happening to Manchester United is also happening to Chelsea. Because if you look at how they finished, should I say Manchester United and Chelsea have just been reduced to a mere team like Crystal Palace. Maybe the likes of Aston Villa is even more ambitious than Man U and Chelsea these days. Maybe Crystal Palace, Nottingham, they just want to be in the league, playing in the league. They are not going on relegation. They are not going for Champions League, but they are just there. They just want to be there. Because if, for crying out loud, a coach, an owner that means business shouldn't be saying this. These are the times you are meant to be giving some kind of stare warning, give some ultimatum. If you don't win the next 3 matches, if you don't do this, give them some kind of push-up. Not backing them. I mean, why are you backing Erik ten Hag for? What has he done? This coach, you can't give what you don't have. It is obvious that this man doesn't have the capacity to coach a team as big as Manchester United. The same thing we see happening in Chelsea. I mean, these are world teams. Okay, now, you want to talk about, can you talk about Man United when you want to talk about their history? Talking about the likes of Eric Cantona, David Beckham, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ryan Giggs, and you can go on, and then look at the kind of players that Man U is parading now. You talk about, Kobe Mino is even trying. But look at the other players that are there. What is their impact? Rashford, we don't even know if he's now a midfielder or is a winger or is an attacker. He plays in so Lakadesica, nothing to show for it. And then the owner is coming to, well, They say he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Since he said he's okay with it, probably just like the Chelsea owner said they are bringing on a long-time project. Maybe that is what Manchester United is looking at. But if you're talking about a long-term project, what about the what should I call the endorsement and the old sponsors that should come for this team? Now, you're looking at Chelsea playing the league now. I'm not seeing any sponsor on their shirt. I don't know what really happened, but it might not be unconnected with the fact that this team is not really performing. And where will the endorsement come from? Okay, now look at Victor Osimhen that just went to Galatasaray. We are saying, look at so many things that have transformed in Galatasaray. Check their media, their social media.
I saw that. I saw that.
2 million followers.
I saw that. That was amazing.
So many endorsements coming for the club. These are teams that are ambitious. Okay, imagine if a Victor Osimhen would have come to a Chelsea or an Arsenal. What would that have done to the economic value of the team? And then Manchester United, if you want to call world-class player in the team, how many can you pick out? How many world-class players can you pick out in Manchester United? And this is the problem.
But the CEO say they still want him.
That is why I said I'm so shocked to hear that the CEO, the owner of a team said, even when you watched, I think, was it not last week, when I watched Chelsea play, it got to a point the owner just stood up and went to his room. That shows he was angry. But even him being angry is not showing up in what his decision is taking. Go back to the days of Roman Abramovich. Abramovich doesn't talk much. He's a man with action. Abramovich cannot go 2-3 seasons without winning a trophy. But just since 2021 when they won the Champions League, how have they failed? That's talking about the owner, the mentality of the owner. That's just it.
All right, well, we are expecting Wilson to join us from Lagos State. All right, okay. Wilson will be joining us right now as we talk about the Super Eagles. But before then, hello, Wilson, good day.
Hello, good day. Greeting you from the beautiful city of Lagos, Nigeria. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you very much. It's good to have you on Talk Sport this morning.
Okay, yeah, it's my pleasure. Speaking to you. Good morning, everyone in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning, Wilson.
All right, Wilson, we're talking about Manchester United. You know, looking at their performances since the season started, even before the season, a lot of people, especially the fans, have clamored that he should go, that he should be fired. But the only person that has the rights to hire and fire is the CEO. And the CEO said they still want them. Does that sound disappointed to you, or you feel Harry and Hart should still remain in Manchester United?
Well, I think first I would like to say it's a good thing that the Naxxas, the backing of the CEO is a beautiful thing. But then, if we have to be very honest with ourselves, Manchester United is a top club in English Premier League. And in recent years, the club has really underperformed. And to be very honest with you, they are not doing well. And I was speaking to some pundits some weeks ago, and we looked at the team, we looked at the squad. Everything he demanded for has been given. So what's the problem? What's really the problem in the club? That's the question that we should be asking. And also very important to notice the fact that, Ten Hag has been there for 2 years. This is third season. After 2 years in a club, there should be a pattern. You should understand that you are heading somewhere. But presently, United, we don't know what they are really doing. We can't see the signs. We can't see the signs that, okay, the club is going to get better. We're not feeling anything right now. So it's a disturbing moment, and it's worrisome that the club are still backing Ten Hag till this point. So it's very disturbing. It's a good thing for him, but it's a bad thing for the fans and a bad thing for the reputation of the club. A legendary club like United should be fighting for the titles, just like Manchester City. But then we are allowing the Premier League to turn into a farmers. It's really, really sad. Really sad.
All right, thank you very much, Wilson. Let's get back to Nigeria right here, as the Nigerian Football Federation, talking about NFF, has approved the appointment of Enugu Rangers coach Fidelis Ilechukwu and, of course, his Remo Stars counterpart Daniel Ogumodede as assistant to caretaker coach, talking about Austin Eguavon. Of course, after Finidi George left, Labadia came, and Labadia was announced as the next coach of the Super Eagles. And after a while, Labadia said, no, I'm not doing again. Then there were some circumstances surrounding the departure of Labadia, when he said, well, it was rumored that some persons in authority wanted to get 10% of his salary monthly, and he said he was not comfortable with that, and he left. That was a rumor anyway. Now Eguavon taking over and the forthcoming matches. Remember, Gernot Rohr has been the coach of the Super Eagles and he know a few things about the Super Eagles. Then we will be holding it down with them very soon. What do you think about these coaches? Are they good to go?
All right, so it's exciting to see that finally the NFF can look back at the homegrown talent or what we have made in Nigeria, made in Nigeria. It's exciting, very exciting. But the fact is that we need to understand that Super Eagles of Nigeria, looking at the star is a star. The team is a star-studded team, a team that should be controlling the African continent in terms of football. But it's just sad that for the past few years we've been struggling. Even at the recently concluded Africa Cup of Nations, we got to the finals quite alright, but we're not giving, we're not playing like a star-studded team like we should. So I'm happy about the selection. Austin Eguavoen coming on board once again for the 4th time. That's very interesting to note. Coming back and then working alongside, coaches that have done extremely well in the Nigeria Professional League. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to having a very good qualifiers. And it's also interesting to note that the reaction of the players towards this particular qualifiers is quite different from the rest. Players arriving on time. The energy in camp is 200%. We are very excited. We're looking forward to the qualifiers, and I'm very certain that getting down to the city of Uyo or Akwa Ibom State, we're going to have an exciting match, a match with a serious victory. Having Gernot Rohr there is not a problem. The team is the players in the team and the selection made for this particular qualifiers should be enough to give us a big victory. And I'm certain that we should be able to book our places to Morocco 2025 without using calculators, which has always been, been our standard over the years.
All right, as a matter of fact, 20 players arrived in the camp at the time of this report. Super Eagles captain William Troost-Ekong, who is applying his trade in Saudi Arabia right now. Atlanta forward Demola Lukman is also in camp. England-based quartet talking about Ola Aina, Shemi Ajayi, Taiwo Awoniyi, and Wilfred Ndidi, South African-based goalkeeper talking about Olisa Nda and Stanley Wabili, Bayern Leverkusen Victor Boniface, Lazio Fisayo, Dele Bashir, and former Bendel Insurance goalkeeper talking about Amas Obasege arrived in the camp. That was on Monday. But on Tuesday, a Fulham duo of Calvin Bassey and Alex Iwobi, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze, Raphael Onyedika, Hassan Yusuf, Abdullahi, Bruno Onyemechi, Frank Onyeka, and Benjamin Tammy, who also replacing injured Bright Osaye. Osaye is not going to be in that game because of injury, and of course they joined the team. But according to information reaching us has it that a new Sevilla signing talking about Kelechi Iheanacho is due to return to camp, and Maduka Okoye too, and Victor Osimhen expected to report to camp on Thursday. Let me ask you, I'm talking to you now, Phillips. Is there any player that you expect to be in camp that is not there yet, or you feel this squad is a killer squad? Because according to what Wilson said, well, Gernot Rohr is not an issue, okay, no matter what. And looking at the excitement in camp, it means these boys are ready to go. Are you satisfied with the selection, the people called, and the people in camp so far?
Well, the selection has always been a top-notch selection. With or without coach, even you, Ramsey, you can sit here and draft out the 23 players that you're going to invite. Of course, that is true.
Yeah.
But I need to commend the NFF technical committee for something, and that is the should I call it reinvitation of Olisanda, because Olisanda has been someone I've been following for long in the PSL, that is the South African League. This guy has been doing fantastically well for Orlando Pirates, but when we see most times when they invite players, he has not really been getting the nod. I think the last time he featured for us was in, I think, Nations Cup in 2018. It's 2018 or 2019, the last AFCON, the one before this last AFCON. That was the last time he was invited. And this young lad has kept his squad and he has been playing very well. And it's good that he's back in the team. But the issue I'm having now is the issue of Maduka Okoye always coming late to camp. I hope he's not connected with the fact that he has already have this mentality that since Wabale has been made the first choice, he always take his time to stroll to the camp. Because when Udinese played their last match, that should be on Sunday. I mean, from Sunday till today is Wednesday. Even if it's a train, it's going to be boarding. You should have arrived in Nigeria and then get a connecting flight to Yobo. So I don't know if he also have transfer issues. Yes, that of Osimhen is understood because he has some transfer issues. He flew into Turkey, did his medical yesterday. He'll be unveiled yesterday, and then maybe he has to go back to Italy to pick up his belongings and leave finally. Maybe that is
pack your load and go.
Pack his load. Maybe that is why Osimhen is taking some time. But Maduka Okoye, Iheanacho, I don't really know what has been keeping them. But looking at the squad, generally, just like I've said, the squad on paper, the squad is good to go. But when they go to the field of play, we see a different ball game mentality. Who would have ever thought that it teams like Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Benin Republic, I didn't put South Africa because South Africa is good. But these other three teams, who would have ever thought that they are going to become Goliaths for Nigeria like David? But these teams have been there. Look at the World Cup situation now. It's like a 30-70 chance. Our chances of going is just 30%. 70% stands that we are not going to the World Cup. And now the AFCON, here we are, the same familiar foes. Benin Republic, I think Rwanda also. I mean, I won't be surprised if we can't beat Benin. Someone said that, Wilson said, Genetro is not the issue. The issue is Genetro also, because this is someone that knows the team. Okay, look at the way they played us when we played the match in Ivory Coast. The one they won us 2-1. We scored first. Someone would have expected that at least we should have held on to the lead. But before you know, they equalized. And they scored the winning goal. This is a coach that knows us very well. Now, just let me hint a little on what happened between Nigeria and the coach. Thank God you didn't say appointed. You said he was announced. That's Labadia. I mean, Nigeria, as big as we are, over 20 million persons. Is this how to negotiate a contract? I mean, why come out to announce a coach when the coach have not dotted the I's and crossed the T's? Why? I mean, you are bringing in a coach, a foreign expatriate, and then coming to coach a team like Nigeria. Check on FIFA ranking at least. Even no matter how poor we are, I think we are not below top 50. And then you are bringing in a coach sits in his comfort of his room, you announced him, only for him to just come up. I mean, it's a slap on the face of entire Nigerians.
It's a slap on the face of the entire Nigerians. That's coming from Phillips Uja. Well, let me get to Wilson right now. Real Sociedad strike, I'm talking about Umar Sadiq struggling his first start, all right, of the game. And a lot of people have come out to say so many things. But then, is it too early to have judged Sadiq because of his performance? Let me get to you right now. Wilson, what do you think about that? Because as a matter of fact, I'm talking about Sadiq Umar, who had come off the bench in the previous 2 matches and was included in the starting lineup but struggled to make an impact. Were you surprised at that, or it's normal?
No, really, from my end, I wasn't surprised to see that. I wasn't surprised at all. First 2 matches of the season, Sadiq was on the bench, came up from the bench, and then had his first starts at just the last game. So there are chances that he will be rusty. So I wasn't shocked, and I don't understand why people need to make conclusions on a player that the season is just getting to commence. We are yet to even get down to half of the season. So this is just week 3, and then. Just like Pep Guardiola said after Manchester City won their game, he said the preseason is over, and then after the international break, the season is going to begin. So it's quite early to give conclusions on Sadiq Umar. So I feel we should just give him some time, and then we can analyze better as the season moves further. If his performances will be up to par, or we can say that he's performing below par. So for now, I wouldn't want to give conclusions on what's happening. I would just believe he's rusty, and then having some more game time will make us understand if he's in for a good season, a good run, or something below average.
Before I talk about any other thing, let me take you to what's happening at the Paralympics right now. The excitement actually came up because the medal came for Nigeria, unlike before. So I don't know, Wilson. Is anything interesting you right now? Because remember, the minister is now coming in, all right? And success has many brothers, but failure is an orphan. Now that medals are beginning to come in, we have started hearing promises. Is there anything you have to say about the Paralympics so far?
really, if you observe, I started smiling the moment you mentioned Paralympics because it's really exciting that finally the Nigerian team in Paris finally given us a medal. It was very embarrassing that almost 13 billion was invested into the Olympics, it's Paralympics, and then the Nigerian delegation got to Paris for the Olympics games, and then we came back with 0 medal. So it was heartbreaking that we got to the 6th of the Paralympics and then we got no medal. But as luck will shine on us, and hard work as well. Mariam Bolaji, our sister from Kwara State, an 18-year-old, she gave us our first medal in badminton. She gave us the medal that was 2 days ago, and it was really exciting. It was a big news around town. And it's so interesting to note that Mariam Bolaji is also the first African ever to get to the semi-finals of any para badminton events. She's also the first African ever to win a medal at the Paralympics. So it's really interesting, first African in a badminton event. So it's really interesting and a very big plus to Nigeria. And just like you said, success has so many siblings, so many success. The family lineage is really, really long. So immediately she won, everyone, of course, the congratulatory messages came in, and we're excited as a nation. And also to note, as we're speaking, the finals of the powerlifting is ongoing as we speak in Paris, and then we have a representative. Esther is currently participating in the finals as we speak, and we are hopeful that a medal will also come in for Nigeria in the next few hours. We're very certain of that. We also have another activity later today, a quarterfinals event. So we are optimistic that we're going to do well, and some medals should come. We should be able to smile at the end of this Paralympics Games. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Wilson. Wilson has just spoken like a very good Nigerian, that he is so patriotic and so hopeful and so faithful, and of course believing in what Nigeria can do. Well, let me get to you right here. Do you differ in opinion, or you are so?
How would I have differ when should I call? They don't like being called disabled.
The disability.
But let me, for emphasis sake, when the so-called able-bodied men went to Paris, even a plastic cup they didn't come back with. So if the disabled athletes have gone, and then without the Paralympic has not ended, but they are already sharing news coming up. That goes to tell you, and they have been doing it back to back. I remember the last Olympic we went, the main athletes, they came back with I think 1 or 2 medals. But when the Paralympics went there, we saw the kind of participation they gave to us. They showed up like a million star. Well, it's good to see that the Minister of Sport, that is Senator John Owayeno, is coming up to speak. But I think he's one of the ministers that I felt have not really done well in this cabinet. If you look at what is happening to our sports, I think this is about the first time that we'll be going to Olympics, nothing to show for it. Even our Falcons, not even, I think they managed to score just a goal, not even a point. And then we came back, heads are not rolling, nothing is happening. Look at the NFF. I know he has a stake in the NFF and then the football house. Look at what is happening. Coach turning us down and left, right, and center. Even as we speak, I think it was just yesterday they said they've appointed the coach of El Kanemi Warriors as the coach of the Flying Eagles.
Yeah.
If you have a system that is working, by now all the teams should have coaches. Not waiting till the dying minute and then before you know you start the fire brigade approach, of which Nigeria is known as. But just like you have said, Success has so many siblings. Now he's coming up to rally that support. But what has he been doing to make sure that this kind of successful feat is being maintained? I mean, I think
that's it.
Sectors.
That's it.
What
do we do? What do we do to maintain this feat? That's the big question. What do we do? It's not just celebrating success, but what do we do to sustain it? Well, our time is running out. Time is never enough when it comes to sports. But then before we just call it a wrap, let me just say something about Raheem Sterling. In, of course, Arsenal. Raheem Sterling wears the number 30 jersey at Arsenal this season after making the switch from Chelsea on deadline day. His case was almost like that of Osimhen, but he made it on the deadline day, the England international move from West Ham to North London, and it was confirmed in the early hours of Saturday morning after Arsenal pursuit of the forward went right to the wire. Sterling's of course, summer move saw him reunite with Mikel Arteta, with whom he previously worked at Manchester City. The former Liverpool and Manchester City player said he is determined to be part of Arsenal's togetherness. I love that word, even though his new club is a perfect fit for him. Now, Arsenal a perfect fit for Raheem Sterling? Looking at who he is, I'm not trying to look down on Arsenal. I'm just asking.
No, the truth of the matter is, Raheem Sterling has been one of the so few players that to transfer. I say so lucky because I think the only player that had something close to that was Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic played for Juventus, he played for Inter, he played for AC Milan. You understand? Before coming, traveling, I think he has traveled almost all the countries in Europe, and then now he went to USA and the rest. Raheem Sterling has played for Liverpool, he has played for Man City, he has played for Chelsea, and now he's going to Arsenal. Probably his next destination before he retire will be Manchester United. So I think it's a good one for him. But I was thinking he was going to be donning the number 14 jersey,
no,
which was vacated by Nketiah. But they give him jersey number 30. Wow.
All right.
To see what he's going to do.
Let's see what it's going to do. All right, Wilson, what do you think about that? Before we let you go, before we bring the show to an end.
All right, so about Raheem Sterling, so I think it's a good thing when the coach believes in you. So I feel the advantage on the side is that Mikel Arteta has previously worked with him while he was at Manchester City. And interesting to know that in 2019, at a point, Raheem Sterling was only behind Lionel Messi in terms of goal contributions in 2019. So, and at that time, he was working with Mikel Arteta. So Arteta believes that, he will reinvent the Raheem Sterling that we have been used to, not the one that was at Chelsea, actually, but the one we have been used to at Liverpool and Manchester City did. So, I wish him all the best.
So, in other words, he didn't perform in Chelsea. That's what you're saying, Wilson?
No, truthfully, I'm a Chelsea fan, and then I could say at any point that Raheem Sterling performed below his standards at Chelsea. Apart from some stellar performances against Manchester City, but he performed below his standards. So, I wish him well at Arsenal. I'm hoping that he will do amazing things for Arteta, and then I hope they win the Premier League title too.
All right, thank you very much. This is the size of Talk Sports today on Global Television, where we'll come on your way again with more interesting and juicy, entertaining sports stories. Thank you very much, Phillips Uja. Thank you Wilson, for joining us all the way from Lagos State. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Have a beautiful day and keep loving sport and stay on the channel. Bye-bye for now.